I think we are live. Yes, we are. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Winning the Game of Business Live. And today I want to talk to you about a bit of an evocative subject, and that subject is pricing. Now, I think it's fair to say that most businesses are feeling the pinch and they're feeling pressure on their margins. And that's as a result of things like rising wage costs, higher overheads, higher taxes, suppliers hiking their prices up. Now, if that's you, then this session is definitely for you. Now, let's be honest, when everything around you is going up, as a business owner, you're not going to be able to continue absorbing those costs forever. And I'm sure you didn't start your business so that you could work harder and harder while your reward for doing that is going down week after week, month after month, quarter after quarter, until you get to the point where there's nothing left. That's no fun, is it? And it's certainly not sustainable. So today I want to share with you how you can go about raising your prices from a place of intelligence and confidence. And I'm going to share with you how my clients go about doing this so that they're able to raise their prices by removing all the guesswork and by removing the emotion out of price rises. I'm also going to share with you a tool to help you do this. And by the way, if you want the tool, just reach out. You don't have to opt into anything. Just DM me, email me, message me. You don't have to opt into anything. I'm happy for you to have the tool. If it helps you make more profit, that makes me happy. Okay, so let's get into this. Now, something I've noticed, and I'm certainly guilty of back in my early days, is that far too many businesses, that the pricing strategy in the business is to look at the market and look at the top and bottom price. And then the thinking is we'll plonk ourselves somewhere in the middle. That's safe. But there are lots of flaws with that strategy, by the way, but there's two major flaws with it. The first one is you don't know the costs of the businesses that you're surveying, or if they got higher costs or they got lower costs than you. And the second one is that you're making the assumption that your competitors know how to price better than you do. So what if you're basing your prices on their price and their bobbins at pricing? Now that's one heck of a costly mistake. And when you do your pricing that way, you're actually making your decisions on fear or comparison. You're comparing yourself with your competitors, or you fear that if you put your prices up, all your customers are going to leave you for a cheaper price. Now, very early in our relationship, a question that I often ask my clients, and it's a question that always gets a pause, gets them thinking, and that is, someone in your industry is the most expensive. Why not make it you? Someone in your industry is the most expensive. Why not make it you? And I want to be clear here, I'm not talking about being overpriced for no reason. I'm talking about positioning your price with confidence and value, because the truth is, if you genuinely deliver a better experience for your customers, if you give better service and your customers get better outcomes, then your pricing needs to reflect that. Now, if that idea makes you uncomfortable, that's exactly why we need to have that conversation. So what I will do in a future live is I'll unpack that question, and because that's a particular strategy that's got a lot to unpack in it. But for today, we're going to get practical about price increases. Now, before you change any of your prices, what you need to do is become familiar with the idea or the concept of price sensitivity. And price sensitivity is how are your customers going to react when your prices go up? And products or services that are highly price sensitive are when people can find the product or service with similar quality that gets them the same result. So think in terms of commodities where there's very little difference between suppliers. Then you've got moderately price sensitive products and services. Now, this might be something that you have where you've got something unique that you do, or it might be unique the way you serve. Now, with these type of prices, people are likely to invest some time comparing the products and services of all the competitors. And finally, you've got low price sensitivity. Put your teeth in, Kev. And these are the products or services that are harder to compare. So that could be something about the present relationship you have with a customer. It might be the unique results that your customers are able to achieve. It might be that your products or service is going to be much harder for them to replace. And then with that in mind, and to help you with this pricing conundrum, is an exercise to help you. Firstly, what you want to do is you want to grab a sheet of paper, and you're going to divide that sheet of paper into 3 columns. One column is for highly price sensitive, one is for moderately price sensitive, and a third one is for low price sensitivity. Then what you want to do is list all your products and services and place them in the relevant column. And this will help you get an objective, and it will also help you come to realize that not everything you sell needs the same price and approach. Armed with that information, your next task is then to find the true cost of delivery. That means you digging into all the costs involved in delivering your product or service. Now that could be wages, could be time, overheads, materials, transport, etc. You're doing this work, and it is a fair bit of work, by the way, but you're doing this work to give you confidence. And when it comes to pulling that price lever, the truth is when you understand your numbers, it takes the guessing out of pricing. And that means you're not going to be as price sensitive to your market's price. And then you want to use a tool called the price and impact chart, because that changes everything. And the price and impact chart is something that I learned from a guy called Graham Foster in his fabulous book, The Power of Positive Profit, which sadly is no longer in print. And by the way, if you want a copy of this chart, which is simple, but it's super powerful, as I've already said, just reach out and I'll get it over to you. No need to opt in. So on this chart, along the top row, I've got increased prices. What you have to do is pick out the margin that's closest to yours. By the way, you'll be clear about your margin now because you're doing that cost work. So you'll have a more accurate margin now. And down the right-hand side here, you have the increases in prices. So let's just say, for instance, along the top, I've got a business, I've got a margin of 30%, gross margin of 30%, and I'm going to put my prices up by 10%. Down and out. The intersection of those two numbers tells me the volume that I can afford to lose if I put my prices up. So in this case, 30% margin, 10% price increase means I could afford to lose 25% of my customers before it's going to impact my profit. Now think about that. Because you can ask the question, if I'm going to put my price, if I've got a 30% margin and I put my price up by 10%, do I think I'm going to lose 25% of my customers? Now, sure, some might leave, but you're still going to be better off, aren't you? And it helps you be objective and turns those fear feelings that you might have into confident feelings. But think about that. 30% margin, 10% increase, 25% less customers needed, 25% less work needed. Just imagine the impact of that on your business. Now, something that's magical about this chart is that if you flip it over, it does the same thing for discounts. So we could use the same scenario, 30% margin, 10%, 50%. If you decrease your prices, if you discount your price by 10%, you've got a 30% margin, you have to do 50% more work. You have to get 50% more customers. Which sort of does away with that. We'll just have to make it up in volume pipe dream that a lot of businesses have. Now, when you combine your price sensitivity chart and the margin impact chart, you'll find that you start to make more confident and grounded decisions that are based on facts instead of that finger in the air type stuff that most businesses do. And that can mean an end to your emotions running your pricing. And the added bonus is that the confidence you're going to gain will shine through when you win a customer. And that's sort of what the customer buys from you. They can tell intuitively that you are confident about your pricing. If you hesitate, they sense it. If you believe in your value, they respect that. Okay, let's recap. First, create your own price sensitivity chart. Which your products are highly price sensitive, which are medium, which are low. Then dig in and discover what the true costs are of each of your products and services. Then armed with that information, use this magical chart, the price and impact chart, to guide your decisions. And remember, someone in your industry is the most expensive. Why not make it you? And as I've already said, if you'd like a copy of this price and impact chart, just drop me a DM, comment below, or email, and I'll get it straight over to you. And make sure to join me tomorrow, because we're going to take this a step further and talk about how you can position yourself so that your customers are happy to pay more. Because pricing is one thing, but perceived value, that's where the real profit in your business lies. So have a great day. I will see you tomorrow, same time, same place, 3:30 p.m. UK time. Until then, have a really profitable day. Thank you for watching.